In 2015, statistics show that 71% of Americans ate Mexican food in their homes. Over half of our country enjoys Mexican food, and I'm guessing you probably do as well. Today I will be showing you how to create a delicious Mexican dish that most people will enjoy, grilled chicken nachos. This is a very delicious and easy dish that can be made as a snack with friends, for parties, or even as your own meal. After creating this recipe myself and making these nachos multiple times, I will show you how to make them the way that I enjoy them the most. First, you will need to gather your supplies. You will need 2 plates, a steak knife, a spoon, a can opener, and a cutting board. Next, you will need to collect your ingredients. You will be needing tortilla chips, some chicken of your choice, and I'll be using grilled chicken, 1 avocado, a can of black beans, a bag of shredded cheese, queso dip, and sour cream. There is no specific amount for these ingredients. You may use as little or as much as you want. Now for the preparation. You'll need to start by washing your hands. Once that is done, you can actually start making your nachos. To begin the actual preparation, grab your knife and cutting board and cut up your chicken. Mine is already mostly cut up, but I'm going to cut it up into smaller pieces. Make sure you cut your chicken up into bite-sized little pieces, so that way they fit onto the chips. Most of these pieces are already very little, so I only have to cut up a few. Now, whenever you finish with this, set your chicken aside on one of your plates. I got chicken everywhere. Next, you will need to cut up your avocado. So, you may wash off your cutting board before you do this if you want, but I'm not going to. Okay, begin by setting the avocado upright on your cutting board. Using your knife, cut through the skin in a downward motion until you hit the pit and you can't cut down anymore. Like, mine's stuck, I can't cut down anymore. And next, you are going to take your knife and drag it around the side of the avocado and just keep going around until you hit the other side. Then, you are going to twist it and pull it apart. And you would take your spoon or your knife and get your pit out, but mine just kind of fell up for me, so that worked. And now you will need to pick up 1/2 of your avocado and cut vertical lines in it, like this, going downward. And then cut horizontal lines across, so that way you're creating little squares in it. Now pick up your other half and do the same thing. And now I'm going to do the horizontal lines. I just turn it on its side so it's kind of vertical both ways. And then when you're done with that, you're going to take your spoon and scoop out all of your avocado slices. And scoop these onto another plate. Make sure you get all the avocado out of the peel. Okay, and then you can set your plate aside for now. Okay, next you're going to open your bag of tortilla chips and you're going to pour out whatever amount that you would like onto your plate. I'm going to use about enough to cover the whole plate. take your plate of chicken again and pick the chicken up and spread pieces of it out over your tortilla chips. You can use as much chicken as you want. I may or may not use all of this, we'll see. And I have some pieces that I didn't cut up enough, so I had to pull them apart a little more. Yeah, so just spread your chicken out until you have the amount that you like. I'm not going to use all of it, but I'm going to use most of it. Okay, now you will need to take your can opener and open your can of black and remove the lid, which is kind of gross. And take a spoonful of black beans and spoon them out onto your nachos and kind of try to spread them around so that way they cover all the chips and chicken. You can use as much black beans as you want. I'm not going to use near the whole can. Okay, now you're going to open your bag of shredded cheese. And I have the Fiesta blend kind that is specifically for Mexican. And do the same with this. Just take it and spread it out all over your nachos. And I like a lot of cheese on mine, so I'm going to kind of pile it high here. Okay. Now, set this plate aside, and we will come back to it. Okay, now it's time to heat up your queso. So take your jar of queso, and you can either take a little container and spoon some queso out into it and then put that in the microwave, or if you're like me and you're too lazy to do that, you can just put the whole jar in the microwave. But make sure that you cover it with a paper towel before you do that, so that way it doesn't splatter everywhere in your microwave. And you can heat it up for 30 seconds to a minute. So I will do 45 seconds. Once this is done, you can take it out. And make sure it's hot enough, and mine is. I microwave mine for 45 seconds. And then set this aside. Now you're going to grab your plate of nachos again and take it and place it in the microwave for 1 minute to melt all the cheese. Okay, now once you've taken your plate out, you're going to take your jar of queso and your spoon, and you're going to stir your queso up because mine was a little watery, and you're going to take your queso and scoop it out onto your nachos, trying to spread it around just like we did with the cheese, the black beans, and the chicken. So that way it's not all in one spot. You can use as much of this as you want, but there's also a lot of shredded cheese on mine, so I'm not going to use a whole lot. Okay, I'm done with that. Now, once you've done this, you can put your plate back in the microwave if you'd like, but I think mine's hot enough that I don't have to do that. So if you want, you can just place it back in the microwave for 30 seconds, but I'm going to skip that step. And I'm going to go to my avocado. And I'm going to pick up pieces of my avocado, and you can use a spoon for this if you want, but I'm just going to use my fingers. And take slices of it and place it all around on your nachos. I like to have a lot of avocado on mine, so I'm going to take most of it, but I don't know, I probably won't use all of it. Okay, that's about good. And now I'm going to wipe off my hands. It helps to have a paper towel or two around while you're doing this a lot. So keep that in mind that you might want to have something around to wipe your hands off with. Okay, now our last step is the sour cream. So I'm going to take my spoon again, and I'm going to take my sour cream. Sour cream's optional. Of course, you don't need it. Everything's optional, but I like sour cream on mine. And I'm going to scoop it out. And I'm going to scoop it right on top. I don't try to spread the sour cream out. I just kind of scoop it right on top. And I'm going to use about 2 spoonfuls. That looks good to me. Once you have completed this step, your nachos are finished and ready to eat. These nachos are delicious, easy to make, and combine two foods enjoyed by many people. After following my steps, you will be able to enjoy this delicious and simple Mexican dish as much as I do. If you love Mexican food like the majority of Americans, I would highly recommend making these for yourself or for your friends. This is your finished product.